How to rank Facebook posts in Google. Today I'm joined with Jesper Nissen, and he is an absolute legend when it comes down to ranking social media accounts and social media statuses, specifically on Facebook within Google search. So Jesper, to get started, what is needed to rank a Facebook post within Google search?
Well, what you need is you can have two things. You need either a public Facebook group or you need a Facebook company page, so kind of like a page for your business. So last year Meta changed their indexing rules for the three social media platforms they have. They have Facebook and Instagram and Threads, and what we're talking about is Facebook. And what that means, or what that meant, is that since last summer, all three social media posts can index and rank in Google. And when it comes to Facebook, they don't rank posts from your personal profile. So it doesn't matter if you have a public profile, for James Dooley, and all your posts are public, they won't be found in Google. But they do rank company pages and group posts. So if you have a company page for James Dooley SEO and you go in there and post something about SEO, you can just sit back actually and wait and see if Google actually finds and just index your page actually. So that's how easy it is. Same thing when it comes to Facebook groups. You can post about a topic, and if it's public, chances are Google will actually find this post and then index it and rank it. And there are some rules that we should talk about that you should consider. So the thing is that, or the problem is that when you're trying to rank and index a Facebook post from a company page or a group, you can't define the SEO title. So what that means is that, let's say that I want to rank for link building for new websites, for example. So this is my target keyword. If I wrote a blog post with that keyword, I'll put it in the title, the H1 and the H2, and sprinkle the keywords. And you can't do that with Facebook posts because they don't have this rich text editor, not the company pages anyway. There are some editing capability in Facebook groups, but not in company pages, where I work the most. So what Google does is that it takes the first 7 to 12 words and use as the SEO title. So how to do link building for a new website. If you start your post with those 7 words, this will be the SEO title that Google will show when you send it to the indexer. So this is what it will rank for. And it's actually very, very important to observe the fact that the leading keywords that you put is exactly what Google will rank this post for, word for word. So it's verbatim, this is what it will rank for. So there's an upside and there's a downside to that. So the upside is that Facebook is super duper high authority. I think it's DR 100. I think it can't be, it's the strongest domain next to YouTube. So the posts have a very high ranking power, especially for long tail and local SEO keywords, but only if you search verbatim for what it is that you write in the first 7 to 12 words. So either 7 words or 12 words or until the line break. So let's say that you type in how to do SEO, that's 4 words. So if you type that in and then line break for a new website, then the line break will kind of like cancel out the next word. So that's just technical stuff that I found. And so when it comes to Facebook, I think it's very interesting because you can also do it to boost your local entity. So you can actually go to Google Maps, you can take the share URL. So you can write out a post about what you're doing. I'm doing plumbing in the London area. I'm doing roofing in Chelsea or wherever you're working. And then at the end of the post, that's what I do at the end of the post, I just insert this Google Maps link or share link from the Google Maps. And when it gets indexed, you can actually see the maps in the post. So you go to Google, you search for your long tail SEO keyword, you click on the post, and then it pops up with the maps inside of the Facebook post. So that's super nice that I don't know if it's Google or if it's Facebook that's implemented it like this, but that's super nice. So let me see if I have more information. So yeah, so the thing is, last year, I think it was last year actually, you could actually get the SEO friendly URL. You can't do that now. So what I do is I write a post, I publish it, and then I right click on the details for the post. You publish, and then you get the timing, where the exact time and date when you published the post. So you can right click on that, get the link, paste it into a browser, then it redirects to the final URL, and that URL, I grab that and send it to the indexers. So I know that you have an indexer and I have an indexer, and then it doesn't matter if you use your indexer or my indexer, but just choose any indexer. So you grab that link, send it to the indexer, and then it can be indexed within 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, something like that.
So I've got a few different questions on here then. So first and foremost, it can't be on your profile. It's got to be on a page or a group, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, the first sentence is the most important part. Put a line break and then give the answer. So almost do the question at the top, then underneath it, give the answers. You're saying to get the URL and put it into an indexer. Obviously, Googlebot's then going to crawl it a lot faster, which is great. Mm-hmm. Do you ever do anything like? Do you ever build any links? Or do any like traffic or anything like that through to the URL as well? Or because it's that powerful, it's not even needed to do virality or tier 2 backlinks?
Most of the times, actually, I don't do anything. They just rank, especially now we're talking about Facebook in this video, but we're going to talk about other social media also. They also rank, but when we're talking about Facebook, it just ranks out of the box. But sometimes I actually do send links. I don't send traffic, I never do that, but I do send links. So what I do is I have a series of social media that I use: Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth. And then I have a free profile on blogger.com, on a branded profile site, on wordpress.com, on Tumblr, on Ghost, relatively new social media or blogging platform that I found. And what I do is I write the post on Facebook, and then I grab the link from Facebook and make another long form article on these 4 or 5 blogging platforms, and then insert the backlink to the Facebook post. So then I send all 5 to the indexes, and what I see is that the Facebook page or post actually ranks a little bit higher because I do that. Even though that you might say that, okay, the blogger.com backlink is not a powerful, it's just a Web 2, been spammed to death. Same thing with Tumblr. It doesn't matter. I still see that they do have an effect. So, yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then what about, so on the post, once you've done the post, you've got the question at the top, directly answer underneath. Do you ever add an image to the status, or do you not bother adding any images to the post?
I don't have a rule for that. I mean, so...
I just might be interested if you added an image that was relevant to obviously what the post is.
It is. I don't say it's not relevant to the indexing and to the ranking.
Yeah.
Not in the Google search, but it is It is important if you want to rank in the image search, because when you search for a keyword and you go to Google and then you see all of the web, that's the default. Yeah. That you presented in the Google organic search engine, and then you can click on the image tab. And we go to the image tab. If you do post an image to Instagram or Facebook, they will rank high in the image search. So that's where I see it's relevant, but it's not relevant for the indexing and ranking in the organic.
Yeah. I meant to actually physically try to rank, because let's say you was in the kitchen remodeling space, to physically try and rank an image. It's probably more important than trying to rank even on the web search, because they'll pull in like an image carousel and stuff like that. So I just didn't know whether you'd tested that on. I've got another question. comments. So I see quite a few people doing Facebook posts now, and they're trying to get it to rank within Google, and they're doing what you're saying. So they're writing the post, they're force indexing it, and then they seem to be buying a few comments that's relevant to what the article's about. Do you ever do anything with regards to comments on that post as well?
Well, what you can actually do is that you have two options. So you can just post something and then send it to the indexer. So that's option one, and it will index and rank within, let's say, an hour or 2 hours, something like that. And then the second option is that if you have, like me, I'm trying to grow my personal brand on Facebook. I'm close to 15,000 followers now on Facebook, and what I see is that when I post about something and the post gets traction, then I can go back in and edit the post, the title, the top keywords, and to make it something I want to rank for.
That's clever.
If it has comments, and then I can send it to the indexes, because then it has traction, it has comments, it has the interaction, and you can actually also see in the Google search that Google actually shows you. So this has so and so many comments, and it has interaction. So that's kind of like a clever trick that you can use. Yeah,
that's really smart. I like that. And so my next question to you is, obviously the DR of Facebook is like a DR 100, like you said. However, does the power of the group that you go on, if you're posting it into a group, does the power of that group or the power of your page, like your company page, does that matter with how well it seems to rank, or not really?
Oh, no, I don't see any difference. No.
Right, okay, so it's as long as
no, I think I don't see any difference. I know that other SEOs like what's his name? Yeah, there are other SEOs that are also using SEO Facebook groups as parasites properties. Not too many are actually talking about company pages. But the thing is with Facebook groups that, at least in my experience, groups seems to be totally dead. So all the interaction from groups since last year has just gone down to zero now, basically zero. Unless you have SEO signal slaps with 500,000, people in the group, then there might be interaction, of course. But if you just have your own group, you will experience absolutely no comments and no interactions. All the traffic has been moved from groups to branded pages. That's what people want to interact with. So that's why I use company pages, because I get no traction at all in my group posts. Yeah,
so all right, so the actual power of it doesn't really matter. So do you prefer doing it on a company page? Because I'm presuming if they do end up clicking through, they're going to interact and probably start following if they like what you've said and stuff like that. Do you prefer doing it on a company page than within a group?
I much prefer to do it in a company page, yeah.
Okay, well, I hope you like this video with regards to how to rank Facebook posts inside of Google. Jesper, it's been an absolute pleasure. If you are wanting to rank other profiles, make sure you check out the links in the description. There's several different videos that myself and Jesper are talking about with regards to ranking on X in Google, ranking on Instagram in Google, ranking in LinkedIn on Google. And there's a roundup where I start asking Jesper a lot of different questions with which he feels, if he could only choose one, which he feels is the best. Jesper, if anyone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way of getting in contact with yourself?
They can find me on X or LinkedIn or Facebook or my website jespernissen.com.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Cheers, Jesper, and I hope you like the video on how to rank Facebook posts in Google.